Coming at you live from the Red Room. Well, I guess it's not too red, is it? This is my guest room slash office slash whatever. Finally got a desk, so I decided to see taking things from here. All right, movie talk. Let's start off with the bad. Last week I went and saw Pirates of the Caribbean and Baywatch, and all I can say about Baywatch is, oh yeah, I have not seen anything this bad in a long, long time. Still not up there with Independence Day 2, which is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. At least I laughed a little bit during Baywatch, but they tried way too hard to make it like 22 Jump Street, and it did not pay off at all. I mean, at all. They were just using the spaghetti method of comedy, taking a whole lump of stuff and just throwing it at the wall and hoping something sticked. The story was completely lacking. The humor was just crude to be crude. There's a like 10-minute joke about a guy who gets stuck in a bench. And it's just like it went on forever. It was funny if it just been something real quick, but they kept it going, and for some reason my chair keeps falling down. They just kept it going, and I was like, this has gone on way too far. And to me, the chemistry between the cast was just lacking. They tried to build off of The Rock and Zac Efron, and they just never clicked. I go back to 22 Jump Street. They just didn't have that same chemistry that Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum had. The humor just wasn't there. They were just trying too hard to be over the top, and um, they tried to pay homage, uh, homage to the show when they could. There were a few funny jokes about like, why are we doing this? You know, why don't we just call the police, which was kind of funny. But other than that, it was just lacking, and I was like, avoid this movie at all costs. I'm not even talking about wait for it to come on HBO or Netflix. Like, wait for it to come on Fox or CW or something on a weekend day when you have absolutely nothing to watch. It's just avoid it altogether. Pirates of the Caribbean, on the other hand, was just phoned in. Everybody, the cast, the writing, everything was just phoned in. Javier Bardem did pretty good as the villain when he was on screen, but he just wasn't on screen enough. He won't be as memorable as Davy Jones or even Barbosa when it's all said and done, or even Ian McShane when he played Blackbeard back in On Stranger Tide. Um, Johnny Depp was just didn't have that presence. You could tell it's been a few years with this movie series now. It's not even anywhere near the same that the feeling the first one got. You feel like most people there were just doing it just to get a paycheck. Um, I give it this though: the set pieces and stuff did look really good, and they still had that feel for it. It just didn't go there with the action like the other ones have. Like, you know, the second movie where they had this 20-minute scene of them fighting on top of a was it the watermill type thing, or that whole ending sequence for all the crap that people give the third one. That ending sequence over top of the sea is one of the best action sequences I've ever seen. There was nothing like that at the end of the movie. It was just like, oh, okay, here we go, let's do this, that's done, it's done. And then they just, you're like, wait, what, that was it? I think they're setting up for this to be like the final trilogy, or the next part to be the final part. And if you were going to see the return of Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, don't waste your time. They are literally in the movie for a minute and a half, and I mean total time, both of them, maybe in a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes tops. So I definitely say wait to rent this one or wait till it gets on Netflix or Hulu or something. Unless you're a avid Pirates of the Caribbean fan, you have no reason to go see this. And now for the reason why you're all really here: Wonder Woman. Yes, Wonder Woman. DC finally got their together and gave us a movie worthy of this character. It's been 75 years. I think this is the first time she's ever been live action in a not whole movie, not counting Batman v Superman, and she was the best part of Batman v Superman. But this movie was great. Gal Gadot, you know, she was still kind of finding her place at it, but she did bring a lot to the character. When she is in the scenes fighting people, you can tell like, okay, that's Wonder Woman. There are times where she has to be vulnerable but still be strong. She has to be naive and taken aback. It has that whole fish out of water thing. If you go into this one, it's for the action, thinking like, what's Wonder Woman? And there's a whole lot of action in it. It really isn't. I mean, there are probably three big scenes, each one probably about 15 to 20 minutes long. Not even that long, really, but when the action is on screen, it is great. They use a lot of slow motion. You can tell Zack Snyder had his hand in this one. They use a lot of slow motion. But this one is more about the story of Wonder Woman, aka Diana Prince, and her coming to man's world, as they call it, and her becoming accustomed and taking it in. I loved what they did. I can give them credit for this. They actually showcased the war a lot better than I think Marvel did with Captain America: The First Avenger. This is World War One. You know, that was 100 years ago, and they did a good job of showing her on the battlefield. When she strikes with her power, you can see it. You're like, okay, a lot of people in the theater just going, wow. I definitely feel if you have been waiting for this movie, I think anybody should go to this. It's probably one of the best movies I've seen so far this summer movie season. I've only seen four so far this year. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, which was okay. Pirates of the Caribbean, Baywatch, and now this. And so far, this is the best thing I've seen this summer. It's the best thing DC has done, bar none, in the last couple of years. I'm saying since maybe The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight. Like, this is the best movie that they have done, hands down. I'm not going to say it's a saving grace for DC EU, the DC Extended Universe, but it's definitely putting them on the right track. Gives me hope for Justice League. It wasn't a lot of flash. It was a lot of substance to this. It was a lot of character development. Chris Pine did great as Steve Trevor. He had a lot of humor at points. He had this whole times where he's trying to talk to her and you can tell he's trying to feel it. They had a lot of other characters. The villain was okay. I mean, it's the same thing with Marvel. Nobody's going to remember the villain T minus 4 months from now. Here's hoping that the Dark Side is in Justice League, that they do a great job with him. It's pretty much the same thing with Enchantress, and the same thing with Zod, and the same thing with Doomsday. It's just, okay, here's a big fight at the end with a beam that goes up in the air. Yes, you will see that beam that goes up, but it was a good movie. I'd recommend definitely checking it out, going to see it in the theater. I'm glad I saw it opening weekend. There's not really too many spoilers in the movie because it just focuses on her story. They did a good job of intertwining all of her different origins, from her being clay to her being half god and a whole bunch of other stuff. So no spoilers there, but it's just, if you read the comic, you'll know. But if you definitely if you're just going to go see something good this summer, go see Wonder Woman. If you're a comic book movie fan, go see Wonder Woman. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, go see Wonder Woman. I recommend anybody going to see this. But looks like next up is going to be either Cars 3 or, I'm trying to think, maybe All Eyes on Me, the Tupac Shakur movie. Both of those look good. Definitely looking forward to Valerian in July. This is one of those movies I think I might have to see in IMAX 3D. Watching the preview, I was like, this is going to be an experience. I hope the two main people can carry the film. I can't think of their names for the life of me, but I know one is the girl that was Enchantress, so here's hoping they directed her a lot better than they did in Suicide Squad. And the other guy is the kid from Chronicle, and he played Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's not playing that creepy type of character he always plays, so again, here's hoping he does well in this. But the movie looks beautiful, and I like the director. He did The Professional, and he did The Fifth Element, and he did a couple other things, so I'm really looking forward to that one. But yeah, definitely avoid Baywatch like the plague. If you got time to kill, go see Pirates of the Caribbean. If you just want 2 hours to kill, I recommend just waiting for it to come on video. But definitely, if you want to go see a movie out of those three that is out right now, out of everything out right now, Alien Covenant, all that stuff, go see Wonder Woman. You will not regret it. It's definitely worth the price of admission. I will be buying it when it comes on Blu-ray. I hope you do too. Go support this so we can get more good comic book movies like this, especially from DC. And that'll be it. I'll see you all next time. Bye. Damn it.